Do you ever wonder what life would look like if you didn't quit the thing that you love so much? Like, do you ever see people who are like younger than you, or even like your age, or even honestly a little bit older, it really doesn't matter, but like doing the thing that you love like full time, and then you're over here just like questioning to yourself like, wow, if I didn't quit, like that could have been me. Like I could be doing what I love and making money off of it and like living freely, peacefully, not having any of the stress anymore. And I don't really think that that's a bad thing to feel. It's something I've been thinking a lot about lately. Context. 5 years ago, yesterday was the anniversary, I quit dance. It wasn't a hobby, it was a career. I got my BFA in dance, and I had like a dance company, and I did shows in New York, and I did dance films. I've quit a lot of things though. Like I was a yoga teacher, I quit that. I uploaded my first YouTube video when I was 15. I have quit that many times. I've come back to it and quit. I had a really large Twitter account and I deleted that. But going back to the dance thing, like that's been a thought I've been having, is like, wow, that was 5 years ago. If I didn't quit, like would I be doing that still now? Really easy to like sit in like this woe is me mentality, but then I was thinking about it more, and the luxury of being a quitter, not that there's many luxuries to, no, there are some luxuries to being a quitter, but one of the things that's great about being a quitter is you've at least answered the question of, well, what happens if I give up? Like what else is out there? What more is there out there for me, right? Like if you just continued consistently doing the thing you love, yeah, maybe it would have worked out for you and you could, you know, be somewhere different now today. But you would always have that thought in your head of like, well, what else is out there? What more can I experience, right? What does life look like pursuing another path? Maybe you would have been curious to explore it, maybe not, but at least you now know what it's like to lose the thing that you loved the most. Now, for me, when I first quit literally all of my endeavors, the immediate feeling I had was relief. Like, at least like with dance, I was like, oh, I don't have to worry about scheduling people for rehearsals anymore. If I gain weight, it doesn't really matter that much. I can get tattoos, right? I have a hand tattoo. I didn't have to worry about that. I was like, wow, I have stable income, like I can buy things. My parents are not gonna question me or bother me about my career choices. When I deleted Twitter, I was like, oh, there's gonna be no incels now that I have to worry about. Like if I accidentally go viral, I don't have to worry about like getting threats in my DMs from people who found my content that shouldn't have. Like I don't have to worry about that anymore. And at first it felt really good, right? Like oh, I have a paycheck, I have health insurance, people are leaving me alone, like this is great. Maybe for you, like you love what you do now and like that's awesome. But for the people who are like me, who at first it felt good, but then years go by and you're now like, you have no creative outlet for yourself, no outlet for your emotions. Like you sound like ChatGPT when you talk all the time because you spend all day of your life speaking that way. You have no sense of joy. You don't do anything fun for yourself outside of work. Like you pretty much just work for the paycheck and have so much stress that you spend all of your money on groceries because you don't have the mental energy to go to the grocery store, so you order delivery. And yeah, you can buy the things, but you're just buying the things to fill the void that once was fulfilled from the thing that you love, and then you just spend the money that you have and it doesn't really feel great, and then you have mental breakdowns every day and you're crying all the time because you don't feel fulfilled. I don't know if that's your story, that's definitely my story, but like I now know, right? Like I quit what I loved, I tried something else, and I learned that this is not working out for me, right? Also too, like I had this false sense of stability. I've seen way too many layoffs, false sense of stability. Tech is very unstable right now. Anyways, I digress. But now that I have seen what life looks like without my passion, I now can return to it and know so much more now how important that thing really is. So in those moments where I'm feeling really defeated and I feel like quitting, I can at least now say, look what happens when you do. Is this really worth, is the temporary relief really worth it in the long term? Now that you've lived it, now that you've quit, now that you have given it up, right? I have that answer in my head and I can see how my life turned out. And I can also look at the people who have continued on with their passion, and I can see in my head, like, look what happens when you stay consistent. There are people who have stayed consistent and it's worked out for them. So when I return to the things that I love and it gets really hard, I now have a fresh set of eyes of what it means to lose the thing that I love and what it means to stay consistent with it, right? And now I can be that much more dedicated, that much more focused, that much more locked in. I hate that phrase, but that much more locked in, and not sweat the small stuff so much, because at least now I know, and now you know too, if you're anything like me. Maybe you've quit and you've seen how life turns out for you, and now you can weigh your options a little bit more, knowing what the trade-off is. And I just wanted to bring this up because I think sometimes, like, we think about quitting and we think like, oh, well, I gave it up, so like I can never go back to it now, and this is just how my life has to be, and like now I have to just sit here in the wonder of like, what would life have looked like? But that's actually the power, is knowing what life would look like from the outside, and from being on the other side, seeing what the alternative path is for yourself. And the thing is with life is there's no rules. Like, you can start over whenever you want. Like, granted, it might not be as easy as it was when you first started, and certain things might not be possible, like, right, with dance. Like, sure, I am not as flexible as I used to be. I don't think I could just drop into like a back bend right now or something. I don't think I can just, whip out this super high arabesque and whatever. It's gonna take some time, and I'm definitely not gonna be as agile or as mobile as I once was when I was, 18. That's truth. But that doesn't mean that dance can't be a part of my life again, right? There's no rules to life. It's all just made up. Like, we can start and stop things at any age. We can change our minds. We can choose different paths. And like, think about people who have started new endeavors like later on in life. Like, I can't think of an example right now, which is the worst. I wish I could. But there's so many people who have like started a business in their 40s and like are now thriving, living the dream life. But there's just so many instances of people who continue to prove time and time again that you don't, like, the age thing doesn't matter. You can start over at any point in your life. But anyway, I bring this up because I just wanted to remind those who are sitting in the like, what would have happened if I didn't quit mentality, to think just a little bit more and like change the perspective just a little bit and think about like, well, now that I've seen what it means to not have that in my life, like, what would happen instead of like, what would happen if I didn't quit? What would happen if I started over again? What would life look like if I stayed consistent this time? What would life look like if I don't give up? Now that I've seen what life can look like when I do quit, what would happen if I don't? And I encourage you, even if it's just like a small baby step towards starting over with the thing that you love to do, that you just take that step and not sweat. You don't need to be the top of your, industry tomorrow. Like, just take a small step. Anyway, that's my point. If this was a helpful message for you, let me know. I felt like it was something I know I've been thinking about, and something I just wanted to share with the other quitters of the world. who are just looking for a little bit of inspiration and, you know, just want to change things up, shake things up. Life doesn't have to be the same all the time. We don't have to keep doing things just because it's familiar or because we think we're supposed to. That's another thing, right? We'll save that for another day. But yeah, if this was helpful, let me know. And let me know what it is that you are really passionate about in the comments. I would love to hear and be inspired by you. And hopefully this was inspiring to you too. All right. Until next time.